Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I'm hosting this solo because my husband forgot ice. He also had his computer on mute and we couldn't hear Steven for 15 minutes just to keep y'all up to date.
Her husband's a retard.
I'm Kat, by the way.
I'm JD, owner of Southpaw Laser Concepts and the founder of Southpaw's Tales from the Barstool. We got a really cool show lined up for you tonight. We got Mr. Stephen Eugene Kuhn. He's been somebody I've looked up to for almost 4 years now. It's really an honor to bring him on. He is a brilliant businessman, and we are not going to fucking talk business tonight. It's going to be anything but.
We're going to see how deep we can go in his underwear drawer. That's what's going to happen.
Whoa. Yeah.
My parents haven't logged in yet.
I hope not. Speaking of which, when you log in, please make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission to see your name. They're not going to do anything else with your Facebook account with the exception of seeing your name so that we can see who's making comments when they go. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to get the drink for the night started. Tonight we're drinking Moscow Mules, which have to be made in these nice little cool copper mugs here.
That's right. That's the only reason I wanted that. And I've heard people talk about drinking them. I've never actually tried one. So all of these drinks we've done thus far have been brand new. So I hadn't had an old fashioned prior to last week. And then this week, Moscow Mules.
So Moscow. Oh my God.
What?
I haven't even started drinking yet.
So we did not pregame today, by the way, people. Okay, I just got home from work, and I don't know what JD's excuse is.
I didn't pregame. That's my excuse. So Moscow Mule is based with vodka. We're doing some Tito's, which is made right here in Texas. It starts off with 1.5 ounces.
Or ish.
1.5 ounces-ish. You'll put your vodka in there. It's supposed to be 1/6 ounce of lime, but I am not going to measure out lime. I'm going to do this. Okay, that looks like about enough. Okay, that looks like about enough. Yep. Perfect.
You are a scientist. It's okay. Now math is racist. So the fact that JD isn't measuring is actually very politically correct right now. So you're welcome, people.
We're anti-racist. Next step is going to be 4 ounces of ginger beer. This bottle is 6.8 fluid ounces, so I'm going to go roughly less or more than half of it.
Less or more? Not exactly half.
It's all scientifical. So, and
disclaimer. We may not be child appropriate. That is for not just the show, but in real life as well. We're not child appropriate. We're probably going to have to pay for therapy for our own children. We're not paying for yours. Okay?
No. And final step. You stir it and you garnish it with lime and you are good to go.
It looks like we've got some people posting it on Facebook. We'll be sharing your comments here in a little bit. For now, go ahead and let us know what you're drinking.
So, as we try this guy out.
All right.
Man, that is tasty. So, we're going to get on with the next part. We got to bring out our sponsors.
I like that.
That is really gingery. That ginger beer is really gingery. So, we wouldn't be able to do this for you. We wouldn't have this cool equipment. We wouldn't have cool guests or cool production value that's really shitty. We just make it look good without our sponsors. Our first one is Mr. John Oda, Gunner Gray Furniture Fusion.
Love it.
It's gunnergray.com. If you're looking for handmade, hand quality furniture, this stuff is like heirloom quality.
I'm going to be sharing pictures next week of some of his furniture because I've told people about it. You would not believe me until you see it yourself. They are absolutely gorgeous.
Gorgeous. It's not that crap that you'll find at Sutherland's, which I can't say because
work people.
I've got some furniture from Sutherland's, but this is not your tchotchke stuff. This is quality stuff, and one day I'll be able to afford it.
He makes IKEA his bitch.
The next one, I'm actually really excited for Carrie over at Soldier Girl Coffee Company to have sponsored us. She's a female veteran.
Thank you for your service.
This is a CBD infused coffee. It's the THC free CBD. I'm actually getting a bag of it in a couple of days. I cannot wait. She's doing her virtual launch.
We get a bag of it because you are sharing it.
Maybe. So She's doing her virtual launch on March 13th. You can go to sgcoffee.com to get more information. You can also find her on Facebook at Soldier Girl Coffee Company LLC. And then our final oh my God, I haven't even started drinking.
We also have Warhorse Legacy Foundation.
So Warhorse is a really, really great organization. They, as it says on the screen, they foster healing in veterans, their families, and their communities. But the way they do it is they do it through equestrian activities. They do horseback riding, learning how to tame horses, brush horses, do just any kind of different activity. They don't call it therapy because they are not therapists, but what they do is they find a good way for somebody to put a positive outlet on their PTSD and their anxiety.
That is actually the best way JD has ever described it. Usually he called it PTSD horse therapy. And I thought, how many horses have PTSD? So I'm really glad that he clarified now, because for a non-veteran, it was getting real confusing. But their foundation is amazing. And I know it's a new year. Everybody's on these like resolution kicks still. So if you want to give back, it's a great foundation. We've got to help our veterans.
So without further ado, I am very, very, very honored to bring our guest on, Mr. Stephen Kuhn. He is the recent author of Unleash Your Humble Alpha, which is a book that I am reading. It's the wrong thing.
Yes, he did, but I fixed it.
All right, you're clicking from now on. I'm no longer a clicker. Stephen, say hi to us.
Hello, everyone. Greetings.
Greetings.
You're actually drinking. You're actually drinking my favorite drink. Like,
really?
My favorite drink of all time. Yep, killed it.
Really? What a wonderful coincidence.
Oh, and I picked it. Stephen, you and I are on the same page this week.
I was wondering, like, I wonder if I can get a Moscow or mule here in my little village in Hungary. And no kidding, I walked into the shop today, opened up the door to buy some aloe vera, and there was literally ginger beer sitting on the front shelf. I was like, what are the chances of that? Literally, seriously, yeah.
So are you drinking it tonight also?
No, it's 3 a.m. here. No, probably not.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So before we get into the fun and games, you have 3 minutes, and you don't have to use all of them if you don't want to talk about any and all of the businesses that you have, because I know you've got a lot of them going, especially the book that I'm reading, the Unleash Your Humble Alpha, which is awesome. So 3 minutes starts now, sir.
Okay, so I wasn't prepared for business, but anyway, so I guess the biggest one is the Humble Alpha leadership training and concepts, which is started out with our book with Lane Balone, my partner and co-author. And so that's the book that we wrote about, Unleash Your Humble Alpha, own your presence in life, become the epic leader you want to be. And that's branching out to do a bunch of other things. We're going to Peru in 2 weeks with a bunch of veterans working, with veterans in plant medicine. So ayahuasca, San Pedro, and some combo. And the other businesses are, I do M&A, I do some real estate. I just started an investment fund that is funded at a level that I've never even could conceive of that much investment. But we're using that to expand and solidify the entrepreneurship, vetpreneur venture. So that's pretty much, that's an easy overview.
Sounds great. So some very in-depth business questions. No, I'm just kidding. We're not
Okay, so I have a basic question for you. You mentioned it a little bit ago that you live in Hungary, and
yes,
you, for some people that don't know, you are a combat veteran for the United States military. You were in the Army. You were what, 13 bang bang or something like that?
No, I was 19 kilo tanks. Yeah.
Tanks.
Okay.
So so you went from being in the Army to living in Europe full time. Take us down that road. What got you there, and why you stayed?
Well, people forget, but when I came in back in 1986, it was the Cold War. So I loved being in Europe at the time, because it was like, man, it was like a protected area where we could just have the fun of our life, so to say. And there was no war going on. There was no anti-Muslim, anti-this, anti-that. It was just, we were in the Army having a great time in Europe and, doing border patrol. I loved it in Germany. So after Iraq, the wall was down and everything. And then I went to Iraq. After Iraq, I stayed in Germany. I got a European out. So you out process in Europe and don't even go home. And it says a lot about my home life, right? And I stayed in Europe, and I just loved it. I opened up some cocktail bars and like a nightclub, and got into that mess Got my nose broken, eye socket broken, retina is separated. But hey, that's what you do when you're young, right? Yeah, just one of those things. Yeah, I ended up staying here. I'm in my 9th country right now. I've been self-employed since '96, and a lot of that was with corporations, European corporations, British corporations. They would bring me on as a contractor or project worker, and I just freaking love it here, man.
What's the weather like in Hungary? Like, I'm pretty ignorant.
It's the same latitude like Pennsylvania, Maryland area.
So you get all 4
Too
seasons?
cold for me. Too cold.
Yeah, all 4 seasons. Yeah. Well, you guys do too now, right?
Yeah, but we do it in 6 hours.
That's true.
Yeah, we do it in 2 days and then we're done. We're out. Yeah, we drop the mic and we're good. Yeah. So you said clubs. JD told me you were a bouncer. Is that right?
Yeah, among other things. Yeah, I'm a bouncer, bodyguard. I worked for Mick Jagger, bodyguard.
Was that what?
Just for 3 weeks. Yeah.
You can see him do the chicken dance thing.
Yeah, everything. But you know what? This is when you see him, he's like, the big mouth and everything. But I swear his mouth is this big. I mean, when he got in the car, it was like these little rat lips. It was weird. It was like he just looked like little beady eyes and stuff. When he gets out of the car, he puts on this like persona, right? He got out of the car and he's like this big person. And he gets back in the car, he sits on his hands and is all nervous and everything, And I've always been sort of a dork. And I also drove him, right? So I drove him, and then I got out, and this is in Germany, and he was scared shitless of having an accident, right? Constantly, he always sat on his arms. And guess who had an accident with Mick Jagger in the car?
No. Is that why you only worked for him for 3 weeks? Did you get fired, Stephen?
No, but this is a cool thing. No, it was only 3. It was a 3-week tour, and so his bodyguard stayed in the UK because he hurt his back. So I just walked up to him and said, "I'm your new bodyguard." Anyway, so what happened? They switched me out, and I took over for Ron Wood. And Ron's like, "Oi, mate!" Like he was just like slow and cool and easy. Didn't need me. I just hung around. The only difference is I got a $400 a day tip from Mick.
Wow!
And what year is this?
98.
Holy crap!
So
because $400 is a lot right now, but $400
is a lot back then.
Oh yeah. So Wade asked, "Will you have moves like Jagger?"
Yeah, I moved I helped Jagger move like Jagger, actually. Yeah.
Oh, you taught him those moves. Oh, see, now all the secrets are coming out.
In '98, Jagger had to have been at least 112 at the time. So he help doing anything.
He was young back then. He was young. Yeah. No, but it was funny because in the car after the concert, you'd pull right up to the stage in the back. He'd get in the car, strip buck naked. We had paper plates of rice and corn, and he'd be eating like this, buck naked, while his assistant Alan would like dry him off and and then dress him and shit. It was surreal.
Wow.
If it would have been the days of social media, I'd have had pictures of naked Mick Jagger to show you. But 1998 wasn't that far, so unfortunately, I have to disappoint you.
Darn.
After seeing the Dancing in the Street with him and Bowie, that honestly doesn't surprise me because there are some very ambiguous acts.
But I gotta say, on the list of like the top 100 things I want to see in my life, that's like 2 million. So we're good.
Oh my God.
The tabloid effect would have been pretty good, but yeah.
So is being a bouncer, was that like the worst job, or what's the worst job you had?
Oh my God, no. Being a bouncer is the best job because I was the anti-bouncer.
Oh,
wait. Let me go back further. So when I first got out, I was the typical bouncer. I literally got in a fight or 2 or 3 every single night, to the point where people would say, "Hey, you got to go to that place because Steven's there. He's he thinks he's a badass. You got to go challenge him." And I got challenged every night. And I mean, it was when it was in Berlin, and we had all forces there. So we had the Brits, the Russians, the Americans, and the French. Right, so it's all the sectors. It was all segregated as per sector when we split up Berlin after the war. So they started hearing this, and they would come and challenge me, especially the Brits. And I honestly would get in fights with 4 or 5 guys in one night, and I had to make a spectacle of them. Otherwise, people would keep challenging me. So I was doing like suplexes and body slams. broke my ankle, broke my wrist, and I broke like at the Hard Rock Cafe. I broke the entire stained glass Elvis mural with with someone's head, and it was crazy, man. Oh yeah, it was crazy. No. It got so bad. You got to realize I was big then. So, because when I got out of the Army, I started pumping like crazy. So I was like, I'm 6'4", and I was probably almost 300 pounds. And it was like, it wasn't solid muscle, but it was enough to look like it was solid muscle.
So let me get this straight. Let me see if I'm hearing this correctly, because I am a female. Having a job where you got in a fight every night was your best job?
No, I said them to back up. Then I stopped that because I couldn't stand the fighting anymore. I literally fought like I would actually fight for money. Like they would actually challenge me. I'd fight for money, and I had so much rage.
No, I could hear his brain.
I had so much rage that I sort of had to stop because it was going too far. Like, I was like ready to really kill somebody. Oh. And so I stopped and got into other stuff and yada yada. And then years later, when I was 40, I went back into the club scene, but I did it differently. I would stand in a suit and tie in front of the bouncer guys, the big bouncer guys, and I would just, hey, welcome, how you doing? What's going on? Yes, I'd sing Elvis and I'd dance around and I'd bring people to the front, and I turned that club into like this sort of famous spot because, like, here's this guy. At the time, I had an MBA. I was a best-selling author in Germany. I was on German TV. And there I was standing in front of a club, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what? My friends were like, Steven, oh my God, what are you? Like, hey, buddy, what's up? Let's go up. I'm like, no, I work here. You work here? What? They were super embarrassed. Yeah. And I was like, nice friend. See ya. And it was the best. It was the best job because I got to meet people where they were, right? They weren't trying to impress or sell or buy or whatever. They were just there, And I had the best time. Met some really, really good people that turned into friends. I had a lot of fun too, if you know what I mean. So.
Well, I gotta say that's why this is awesome, the Tales from the Barstool, because basically the Barstool, being at a bar, sitting there talking, is like the great equalizer. Yeah. No matter where you came from or how much money you make, if you're sitting at a bar, you don't know the person next to you. You strike up a conversation. You've got a friend for life. It's happened to us more than one occasion. So,
yeah, and it really was. It was to this day, people still know me as that guy. It's funny when I go to Berlin, like, hey, I remember you. Yeah.
So Wade brought up Roadhouse, so I have to ask. And on your best days, and in Swayze's best days in the UFC cage, who wins?
Him?
Oh, he has no chance. in my best days, he wouldn't have a chance. I would smother him with my size. I would literally just do bear hugs, pick him up by the neck and the belt, and just literally. I mean, I was that raged. I was raged. I mean, I would pick guys up in the bar stool. I'd pick up the bar stool like this and their neck, and then let go of their neck and flip the bar stool back. I mean, that's how crazy I was.
Oh my gosh.
So, you're an identical twin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he the same height and physique and everything that you have?
He's as big as I am. Yeah. But he's, I think he's like this much taller, like half an inch taller, but he's a banker and sort of, in that world. So he never got into the down and dirty.
Oh, he has a desk job.
Yeah.
Like it.
Steven has a desk job now, too.
Well, now. Not always. We're learning.
My desk. My desk.
Because what he
says. The world is your desk, honey. The world is your desk.
Well, you know what it's all about.
Quality of life.
If you've ever seen any of his lives or any of his videos that he does, he ends it. That's his tagline, quality of life.
600
hours a day.
609 or 10 videos. Crazy.
I'm living on a diet right now. There is no quality of life.
Oh,
but I dream about garlic bread. It's really sexy.
Oh, she does. She wakes me up, licking me, and I'm thinking I'm going to get
Ramsey,
some. She's like,
I waited until freaking 19 minutes into this bring up sex. So you're welcome.
I am really surprised it took that long.
She's licking me. I'm thinking I'm going to. Oh my God. Wow. That's hilarious, man. No, it was a good time. It was a good time being on the door. But, it leads to so many things. And what people forget is like when you meet people there, you're going to meet them somewhere else too. You meet people at their worst. So they're drunk, they're getting kicked out or whatever. And then you see them later, it was the freaking mayor or it was, whoever, right? And you're like, hey, I know you. So you meet them at your place, at your comfort zone, not in their comfort zone. And so I made friends, man, like all the way up. I would say from mafia to mayor. Of course, the mafia weren't my friends, but... Yeah.
To this day, Kat will deny it. But when we first started dating, I met her the day I got home, got out of the service, and she was working behind the bar. And
that is true.
Started dating her and started working in that bar as well. And I worked under her in more than one way.
Every way possible.
She used to pick fights.
He literally filled all of my slots I had open.
Oh, God.
Holy shit.
But she denies it. But probably for the first year and a half we were together, she used to pick fights for me just to watch me fight. And I used to love fighting, but it got to a point win or lose, it fucking hurts.
Time out.
Yeah.
JD had just gotten out of the military. I started dating a very broken, very angry, very hot JD. And unfortunately, I had come out of some pretty gnarly relationships. So I was a very broken, very angry cat. So his anger and my anger formed a very perfect harmony. So he liked the drama and he liked the crazy.
Yeah.
So, and it worked.
We'd have gotten along because I was the same way. I would just walk in like, who's next? Like,
I brought him home and my parents were like, oh, fuck no. No. Next.
The first time I met her parents, and to backtrack a little bit, her folks are small town country people,
Catholic, hell-bent Catholic.
She was raised on a 150-acre cattle ranch.
I was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm very Southern.
Yeah.
I have birthed cattle. Come on, people. I've mended fences. I baled hay. I am Southern.
And first time I met her
lived on a farm. I lived on a farm for 4 years as a kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is.
I had an 8-inch mohawk.
Yeah.
I had
piercings
both
everywhere.
my eyebrows pierced, my
Tattoos.
septum, my tongue, my labret, big old holes in my ears, wearing a wife beater, and God, I can't believe I'm admitting this to where it can be public domain, but I wore Jinkos.
He really did.
What?
Jinkos, those really big baggy
broad,
jeans at the tail end of the 90s. Yeah, I think I was probably the last person to stop wearing them.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Everything I've ever done, that is the most embarrassing thing.
And it wasn't the mohawk or the big holes in your ears.
No, it was Jinkos by far.
I think it was the fact that he had a criminal record that my dad didn't really care for. I don't think
that'll do it. That'll do it for dads.
Yeah. I mean, I'm his youngest, so I came home with this. Literally, my brother-in-law went to basic training with JD. He flew from Japan. I don't know if Isaac's on here. He flew from Japan to visit family. No, he went straight to the bar I worked at with JD to talk me out of dating him. And I was like,
really?
Yes. And I said, look, honey, I'm 18 years old. I am not taking this seriously whatsoever. And now we've been married for 18 years.
How old were you?
I was 18. He was 23.
Okay, yeah. I met my wife. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
I walked into so I'm a turnaround business guy. I walked into a 3-month gig in Budapest. Walked in the front door, and there was this woman there. I was like, oh my God, like this woman is like the hottest woman I've ever seen. And I went up to her and I'm like, wow, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Turns out I was her boss, right? So turns out she was 20 years old. I was 42. And people were like, Steven, come on, man. She's too young. I'm like, look at her. Are you freaking crazy? Look at her. And then I got to know her. She had her own business and was working. I was like, okay, that's a girl I can get behind right there, or under, or over, or whatever you said.
Inside of, whatever.
I tried everything to see which one's better.
All the above. You have to use a scientific method to figure out what works
Okay,
best.
so I've got to ask, like, everybody has those stories of when they were dating. Like, did you ever make a fool of yourself while y'all were dating?
Oh, I still do. It's nothing new there,
Give me an example. Come on, Steven. Work.
Well, until her, I was always jealous of like the women would make me jealous easily, and now I don't get jealous because she gives me that firm, standing that nothing's, that nothing would ever happen, like ever. So when a guy looks at her, I'm like, do it, man. Look at her. Man, she's hot, isn't she? Like I'll bust them out. Like, yeah, I agree, kind of thing. But, I always make a fool, like I'll dance with her in the middle of the street and she'll be like, stop it. We're very conservative, Catholic, and it's called Reform. I guess it's Presbyterian over here, very conservative and very low key. People aren't all extrovert like we Americans are. So whenever she's like a little bit in a bad mood, I'll do like the dance in front of her and stuff in front of everybody else in the mall or in the street or something. She'll be like, stop it.
So whatever.
But I have no fear of being made a fool of because you're only a fool if you think you're a fool. So I don't ever think I'm a fool. So whatever happens, and it's fun, and that's life. That's what I do.
See,
I like
JD.
that.
Yeah, you like that, but I asked you to dance at the Bart Crow concert and you wouldn't dance with me. So I'm just saying because he was embarrassed because no one else was dancing.
Oh, no,
Dude, you know what? I'm not a dancer. See me doing it? No. 6'4" guy, 230 dancing. Yeah, and it's not going to look good, period.
No, I'm more embarrassed for her than I am for myself.
I don't care.
Well, I mean, look.
What people think about me a long time ago.
But I mean, look. This is what you got to think is like people are looking at you going, man, it doesn't matter how he dances. She's hot. You know what I mean? It's like they're looking at the girl going, oh, she's good looking. Who's this guy? Like they were like, who's this dork? You know, they would like look at me like dork, this young. You know what I mean? We got it good, JD. Come on, you know.
Thank you. Yes, he does.
Although, if it weren't for her, like I would have never been caught dead on just because going out in a button down or boots or combing my hair.
Showering, regular
hygiene. She's really turned that around, which is it's good. I needed that.
Hygiene. It's so fun.
That hurdle in life. Yeah, one of those big hurdles in life. Yeah.
I've got him peeing in toilets and not outside as often. Not every time.
It's my yard, and I'm marking my territory.
The bathroom closer. He walks past the bathroom. He's in our backyard.
Hey, I like being in my backyard. He
likes being
comfortable.
In the backyard.
I get to see the stars.
We live in a neighborhood, a subdivision, a very nice subdivision.
It doesn't kill the grass.
No, it helps.
That means you got a nice pH balance in your body going there, bro.
Even it sounds like you're encouraging him,
and that's what I appreciate about you. All right, so I want to do this segment of the show that we do every week. It's going to be called the Unpopular Opinions, where all of us say something and we debate whether or not we agree.
All right. Are you going to go first, JD?
Yeah, I'll go first.
I'm going to zoom in on you then. Hey.
So my unpopular opinion is that asparagus and rice pilaf ruin entirely too many dinners at restaurants.
Okay.
I can't get a good steak at a good restaurant, and I can't get a good fish like salmon or something like that without rice pilaf underneath
okay,
it.
the rice, all right, I get
and
that.
And asparagus tastes like cat piss dirt.
JD likes salmon, but he doesn't want the rice underneath it. So he's a baby. Instead of just saying, hey, can I get it without? He's like, oh, it came with rice again. It's on the menu that it comes with rice.
I know, but why don't they offer salmon pairs so well with so many things? Why does it have to be rice everywhere?
Yeah. It's a filler. I mean, in the States, it seems like everything's the same in the States when you go out to eat. Doesn't matter what restaurant you go to, it's almost always the same sort of mix like that. Your rice and pilau. And I love asparagus, but in America, I don't think they have white asparagus, do they?
No, not that I've seen, but
over here, honestly, God, asparagus is like this big and it's that round. I mean, it's like a baseball bat. It's white asparagus. They have the little green dinky asparagus, but this is like the white asparagus. It is so freaking good. They wrap it in Parma ham. Oh my God, it's some crazy stuff. And then of course you do put salmon with it, but not on it. No, yeah.
So Lucy says, I don't like rice either. So thank you for sharing, Lucy.
Those of you are watching, you see how it's Facebook user right there. If you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, give it permission to use your name so that way everybody can see who's talking, or especially I can see who's talking.
Exactly.
Kat's cheating. She's kind of using her phone over there. She's got the stream.
I am an enabler.
So she gets to see all the faces. I do not. All I see is Facebook user.
All right. So
what is your unpopular opinion?
My unpopular opinion is I know I'm going to get crap for this because I'm a woman and I know that we're supposed to enjoy like chocolates on Valentine's Day. I don't really care for chocolate. Like I like dark chocolate. That's it. So I'm sorry. I know I'm a traitor to my gender. I don't care. I don't like chocolate. So don't get me chocolate.
How dare you assume your gender?
I am assuming my gender. I was born with these body parts. I'm owning these body parts. That's how it works. Or not, whatever your is. I don't want to like.
I got binges where I go through chocolate. Like I won't eat chocolate for months, and then I'll just grab a whole bar of Milka and dip it in peanut butter and just eat it like that.
Oh my God, man! I would go in a diabetic coma.
I'm the same way though. I'll go like 5 or 6 months without anything, and then for like 3 weeks, I can't get enough Snickers and Kit Kats and stuff, and then it's like all over again.
It's like gone. Every Thursday, babe. Like, what are you talking about? Every now and then.
Only when I'm on a diet.
It feels like months.
Oh, I haven't eaten chocolate in weeks. It's like, babe.
So we have kids, so it's always in the house. It's always in the house with the kids. So I'm like, all right, stop this shit. And of course, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmothers, grandparents, all that. They're always bringing like bags of chocolate over. And so I feel it's my duty to eat it before the kids do because, we don't want them to get sick. So
Yeah. Oh, you're such a good dad. It's like
See
going to
that?
candy on
See that?
Halloween. You know, we do it for the kids.
It's for the greater good.
Thank God they don't have Halloween here. I mean, they have it, but they don't do the trick or treat part.
Oh,
They just dress up and do marches.
I can't move there.
No, can't live there. Halloween is our Super Bowl. Like, no, we wouldn't survive.
It takes literally between 100 and 150 man hours to set up our front yard
That
for
is
Halloween.
true. We have animatronics. We have a haunted house. We have a tour through our front yard. Nope.
Wow.
Hours
Yeah,
to get our
this year
makeup
was
on.
the smallest year
Yeah.
we've had in a while, and there was somewhere between 300 and 400 people, and it was the
Because of
smallest one we've had
COVID,
in
it was
years.
small. Yeah. Last year, it was it was between 500 and 600 kids we had
Jesus.
last year
That's
before.
crazy. That's
I know.
crazy.
And we love it. That's why we bought a house on the main street of our subdivision, because we wanted that
Okay, yeah.
exposure.
For that one
Yeah,
day.
for
That
that.
one day.
So, Stephen, do you have any unpopular opinions that you can think of off the top of your head?
I'm politically correct. No, I don't know. I don't know. I hate screamers. Like, there's that app now, Clubhouse, and I hate it when people don't stay in their lane. You know what I mean? Like if they're talking about shit they don't know about, and they're just talking and talking, giving advice, and have no experience. It doesn't get under my skin. But it's like, man, you're doing yourself a disservice. People are going to look at you like, oh man, this guy's an expert. And then they're going to Google you or whatever. They're going to like, this guy has no experience whatsoever. Like, why are you doing it? That's my unpopular opinion is quit talking about shit you don't know what what experience in.
If you're inept, stay inept. Own it.
That is the most.
Own that shit.
Right.
Own that shit. Oh my God.
I'm fucking stupid.
I'm sure that's probably it's probably a popular opinion. So I guess that wasn't.
I agree with you 100%. However, on the flip side of
Not
that
to the
coin,
screamers.
you have the exact opposite, where you have the people that suffer from the imposter syndrome, where they are experts but they refuse to accept it, and they don't deal with it, and don't
It's true.
jump in their lane and just fucking hammer down when they should.
How about you correct the people when you absolutely know they're wrong? I don't know. But then again, JD likes to watch the world burn, so
I got a gigantic fucking spoon, and I use it every chance I get.
Spoon?
Metaphorically.
Oh, okay.
Metaphorically, people.
Dude, it's like it's 3:30 in the morning, so I sometimes I don't catch it that quick. So, yeah.
What?
Go
What's
to the
going on?
brand tab.
Which
We're
one?
getting rid of go to brand on the far right,
Oh, got it. Excuse me.
and then click
This one?
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, are we doing that right now?
Well, I don't know. You told me to click on
Oh, I
it.
was just gonna have
Kat,
you.
you're not drinking.
What?
You're not drinking.
You're not
I'm
drinking.
not
enough.
drinking? Oh.
So I guess we'll jump into the would you rather.
You seem like an expert, Stephen, not inept at all. I'm going to listen to you.
Hey, Lucy, I can see you now. Would
Hey,
you
Lucy.
rather have a golden voice or a silver tongue, and why?
Ooh.
Wow. Well, I guess it'd be a golden voice because that would carry. I don't know. I think people remember songs better than they remember acronyms and sounds and statements. Like if you think of when you're a kid, you can probably remember most of the songs you learned as a kid. If they could teach math like that, I'd be a freaking wizard. So probably be able to. I'd love to sing. I mean, I could sing a little bit. I did when I was in the Army. I'd sing on stage in Germany with who's that guy from Dukes of Hazzard? The dark-haired guy. No, the dark-haired guy from Dukes of Hazzard. Tom Watts or Waits, whatever his name was. He was doing a country music tour in Germany, and I got on stage and sang All My Exes Live in Texas from George Strait. So that was
did they ask you to come on stage, or did you like kick people's ass all the way up to the stage? You're like,
I was in the Army then. We didn't do that shit. You'd be putting no. No, I was it was a country music club in Frankfurt. It was a lot of fun, man. I got in a lot of fights there too. Back in the old days, the Army days, we got in fights, but it wasn't as bad as it was when I got out. That's for damn sure. But we got other GIs and Brits, and it's when you're in Europe where the other communities, military communities are, then of course you're going to fight with each other. It's just what we do.
What about you, Kat? Would you rather have a golden voice or a silver tongue?
Yeah, huh?
I'm stealing my 13-year-old's answer when I asked him this earlier. because it is the
Oh,
most
then go ahead and
brilliant
answer it. Go ahead and
ever.
answer it.
He said,
What'd he say?
I will have a silver tongue because then I can use it to tell people that I have a golden voice.
And convince them.
See that? You can have it all, man. You can have it
Genius.
all. Just
And that
ask
came
if
from
they're-
my 13-year-old son. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, man.
You know what? I kind of like to have things my way. I know you never noticed that before
Really?
now. So yeah, maybe the silver tongue.
Oh.
Maybe that's
You already
use
get your
it.
way.
Use it for
That
evil.
could be
I'm already
interesting. That could
thinking
be
about you.
interesting.
Yeah.
When you were
That could be
talking about singing on
certain
stage,
situations. What's that?
when you were talking about singing on stage over in Frankfurt, it reminded me. I was in Saudi Arabia. I was at Escon Village. It was the New Year's between 2000 and 2001, or it's Christmas right before 2001, and there was a USO band playing there, and they were like, "All right, are there any musicians that want to come up here and play or sing?" And of course, everybody around me knew that I played guitar and I'd sung somewhat decent-ishly, and so I go up on stage and I
Still
have
does.
a quick conversation with the band to see what we would all know that we could play together because we've never played together before. And we ended up doing Hotel California.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows. I hadn't played guitar, sang in a while because I was on a deployment. Well, if you can call it deployment, it's like one step lower than Qatar being at ESCON. But we get to the second verse and I just completely just blank out on the words. And so it's pretty much just an instrumental for half that verse. And
No. You're just like mumbling.
I would try humming, and I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I'm just playing instrumental, and then I jump back in with the. Actually, I even said I laughed. I said to Mike, I forgot the words, and of course, there's a nice roaring laugh from the crowd. And then I jump back into it, and then it says, where it says we stabbed with our steely knives. I said we shoot it with our M16s because, of course, that would
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
that would redeem myself.
Yes.
And of course, that gets the standing O and everything, and do the solos and outro and all that stuff. And I'm like, being typical JD, I get up to the mic and music's over. I'm like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I fucked up that song. Fuck. And I look right down, right in front of me, about 16 foot, is base commander, base chaplain, my squadron commander, my squadron first shirt. And I'm like, oh shit.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a story about a spring break in years past where JD forgot the words to Pearl Jam, and he decided to do a grocery list and grilled cheese sandwiches, and some freaking 18-year-old bitch comes up and is like, "Oh my gosh, I always want to know the words to that song. You were so hot singing it," and I am just dying.
It was literally, I was just
laughing.
streaming together as many random words as I possibly could, because that's what Eddie Vedder sounds like.
It was amazing. And she had no idea. I don't know if she was just that drunk or she had a thing for musicians.
She had a thing for JD. Come on.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do when that happens?
Who, me?
You let the claws out or what?
Oh, actually, no. Actually, I kind of laughed at her, like in her face. But no, we're not. No, we're not really the jealous type, I would say. Like, I mean, we've had moments in our lives where we probably got.
Stages
there was stages. But for the most part, I mean, I'm sitting right there and he's just like, yeah, and that's my wife. And even before we were married, he was telling people, yeah, my wife's over there. Why don't you go tell her you like the song? So he just sends it my way. And I'm just like, oh, really? You like my husband's song? That's so cute. Now go away. So it's
my wife is like, she's not jealous at all, but she'll protect me. Like when someone comes up, she's like, sort of kind of thing. And it's funny because I remember one time when we were first dating, we would actually go into bars and stuff, which we don't do anymore. Well, you can't, and I was coming out of the bathroom. There's a guy trying to talk to her. And I swear she's just there, just sitting there waiting for me, looking around like this. And this guy's like right here. And I mean, she doesn't even acknowledge his existence. It was so funny. The guy's looking around, like talking to her, and she's not responding. He's sort of standing there like an idiot in front of everybody. It was hilarious. And I was like, baby, that's the shit right there, man. Like, just don't even get engaged. You don't have to tell them to F off because you don't acknowledge their existence, man. She's so cool like that. She's so cool. She got that super, she can put on that super, B face, like, or, really, really good. Just like blank. I don't see you. I don't see you at all. I don't acknowledge you. It's amazing. I mean, she does it to me sometimes too. So
I know Kat's face says more than her mouth does.
It's unfortunate at times. It's unfortunate. Like, I've literally been in a situation where a nurse is like, does something stupid. I'm like, no, you did fine. Really? Yeah. Yeah. And JD's like, no, your face,
No.
babe, your face.
Your face said exactly what
Damn it.
what your brain was thinking, regardless.
Yeah,
of
I
what
can't
your lips
hide. I can't hide when I can't lie like that either. It just comes out.
All right. So would you rather, you ready, JD?
said. All right, let's hear it.
Would you rather have universal respect or unlimited power?
Universal respect, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think so?
I don't need power.
Well, respect means you have presence, and with presence you have influence anyway. So it's the same thing as power, but it's I guess you could say that influence is more like power as opposed to force. I think you're talking more like power, force, power kind of thing. And I think presence is more like an influence that's softer because people will be drawn to you instead of you forcing them to do something.
It's true. Usually respect is earned as opposed to power that you just achieve either
With a rank or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's
Staying in the army. Yeah.
There's a definite difference between leadership and power position.
That's true.
We have chickens next door, and the rooster's going off now. Just know if you could hear that. Yeah, in the
What
background.
time is the sunrise there?
It's it'll be another 2.5 hours for the sun to come up. But I guess my light will come up.
He's
That
an
was going
overachiever. That's what he is.
Yeah. Oh man.
Which
Yeah.
is good before
Mark
4 o'clock to
says
work out.
power corrupts. That's true.
Yes,
very,
power
very
on
true.
so many levels.
You know, Power, yeah, it depends on your definition of power. A lot of people think power means also influence, but it doesn't necessarily mean when you have power you have influence, or when you have influence you have power. But you know, it all depends on where you have it. You know.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, for sure.
it's pretty universal. Everyone said respect. So
Respect.
agreed. Agreed.
That was a good one though. But
Thanks,
Yeah,
babe.
that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one.
Thought-
Yeah, I gotta be careful here. Get scarred for life if you make the wrong answer.
Yeah, I had the right answer written down. So yeah, I'm glad we were all on the same page there.
So I'm going to bring something up, and I do not want to get into the political or the ideological portion of it. It's just your curiosity, you being, almost completely on the opposite side of the globe that we are. We're here in Texas, and we just had an announcement today from our governor that they're going to be getting rid of the masks and all the COVID restrictions as of Wednesday next week. Of course, businesses and private entities still have the options to follow whatever regulations that they see fit. But as far as the mandates, they're all being lifted. How's COVID been handled over there? Like, what restrictions have you been dealing with
And
in
are
a
still
different country?
dealing with.
Well, you got to differentiate between Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Western Europe is crazy. It's like, I mean, honestly, in Germany, you would think that they forgot what a Nazi was because they're acting like it. I mean, it's so bad there. They have internment camps with concertina wire at the top for people who haven't worn their mask 3 times or didn't obey the curfew 3 times. They have, they're throwing politicians, elected officials onto the ground face first because they're not wearing their mask outside.
Ooh.
In Austria, like it's just out of control. Anyway, on this side of the old East Bloc, the old wall or the border, it's pretty much still that mentality, like what the government says goes. So don't even try to argue. But the government knows that, so they don't have to go so hard. So our first lockdown was until 12 noon. Only 60 people 65 and older could go out of the house to shop or whatever, and we could leave after 12. Ooh. There was no curfew or anything, and it was easy. You had to wear a mask indoors, at the grocery stores or whatever, but that was it. And since then, they have a curfew now until 8 p.m. at night until 5 o'clock in the morning, which I don't go out after 8 anyway. So, we have kids.
What's the population and density like there, just for comparison?
In Hungary, or
just your specific area where you're at?
You ready for this? I live in a village of 2,000 people.
Oh, like my hometown.
Yeah. And
nice.
10 minutes is 16,000 people, 20 minutes is Budapest with 1.6 million or 1.8 million people. So we're like in between 2, sort of cities, I guess you could say. And it's so in Budapest it's a little harder. People are. I think it's more about the people, right? So you have the enforcers, what they call Karens or something in America. So you have these enforcers running around, like put your over your nose, and that kind of stuff, and you're just like, okay, man, relax, kind of thing. There's no fist fights or rudeness or people, arguing with each other and fighting and calling the cops on each other. At least not that I know of. I had the cops call to me one time here because I got an argument with the neighbor about their dog barking 6 hours straight, and then it was funny because actually it did me a favor. Actually, did me a favor because the cop came and he saw me. He's like, because I don't speak Hungarian good enough, or at least I act like I don't. And so he called my wife on his cell phone and was talking to her in front of me. And she said, look, he's a war veteran. He's got PTSD really bad. Just don't excite him. Like she's really
no sudden movement.
She's totally
okay. He's like, it's okay. You can go home now. And since then, the whole village thinks I'm psycho. And then on top of that, one time I'm driving and this guy cuts me off in a little village road, and I was like, hey, like this, because you can't flip people off here. Everyone knows each other. Well, he thought I flipped him off. He sees my wife at a gas station right around the corner and stops and says, like, is that your husband with the German license plates on his car? And she's like, yeah. You better tell him, yada yada. You better tell him not to flip me off again, or I'm going to come visit him. And her response, just don't come alone. I was like, yes, nice. So cool. How cool is that? You know what I mean? Like
that is pretty good.
That is biblical.
That is pretty good. Yeah. Dang.
That is.
I'm gonna write that down.
Like, oh shit. So yeah, now I have this like reputation, like sort of no one messes with me. And of course, I don't leave the house except for go to the gym because this is my office.
Yeah.
And all of the mothers of the kindergarten kids, because there's only 2,000 people, there's only so many kids. They all go to each other's birthday parties, and the men never go. It's just the wife and the kids. And they keep asking Kata, my wife, what I do. And I said, just don't tell them what I do. It's too hard to explain. And so they all think I'm like a money launderer and mafia. I mean, they just keep making up all these stories. It's hilarious. We just let them roll with it. So everyone just leaves me alone. Yeah, everyone just leaves me alone. It's great.
Oh my God.
You should start get some big bulk construction trash bags and start carrying them out in the middle of the night. Like just shape it on purpose like a body.
On Halloween. Do it on Halloween. You'll get a reaction.
Oh man. Yeah, it'd be funny. Yeah. Like now they're very standoffish people here anyway. They're very Hungarians are very pessimistic, sort of negative people. It took a while for me to get used to that. So now I just do positive. The more negative they are, the more positive I am. So they think I'm crazy anyway.
Well, I think it's a good rule to follow in life.
Hang on,
go on. I'm sorry. Our German Shepherd is joining the show. Girl,
Sadie, go away.
Go
down.
Yeah, I got my Irish setter back here too, sleeping. Yeah.
Well, our shepherd is the size of two shepherds because she sneaks in at night and eats all the cat food. And apparently cat food makes dogs really, really, really
fat.
obese.
Yes. And then she sheds another German Shepherd every 2 days.
Oh my God, she sheds.
She sheds another German Shepherd.
Really? She does. There are chunks of German Shepherd all over the house.
Chunks of German Shepherd. That sounds funny. Yeah.
So, without getting into your businesses, with
politics.
Your business,
let's get into
you do a lot of traveling and you go on a lot of vacations, a lot of business trips, things like that. I see your pictures on Facebook all over Europe and parts of Asia and everything. It's Peru. So when do you pack? Do you pack the day of, the night before, a week ahead?
Night before, man. I always pack everything the night before because I'm going to need something. I promise you. I try to pack before to be all that squared away and stuff. Damn it, I need that thing that's in the very bottom. And no, so I pack the day before. And I lay it out like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6.
Y'all give me heartburn.
I'm not the only one.
No,
and I only do carry-ons. I never check bags. I don't care where I'm going and how long. I never do check bags. Only carry-on.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
But JD packs the night before or the morning of for any trip. It doesn't matter how long the trip, and it drives me crazy because he always forgets something, which is why you pack beforehand.
It's easy. If we're going for 5 days, I pack 6 days worth of clothes in case there's an oops.
That he always forgets something.
Myself or something. And I have an extra set of clothes.
Babe, did I bring my underwear? How the hell would I know? You packed this morning.
Well, I don't. When I go to the States, I don't bring underwear. I just go to Marshalls and buy new stuff. They don't have Marshalls here. They don't have Marshalls here. They got shitty underwear in Europe. It's like some weird, I don't know, I guess they don't care about fashion over here. I don't know.
I don't know. My parents, it's like they were living in Oregon, so every time they came to Texas, it wasn't Marshalls, it was Sonic drinks and Ross Dress for Less or Kohl's. I'm sorry, Kohl's.
Wow.
And it was every time they came, that's where they wanted to go first. And it's like, you want to see your grandkids? No, okay, after Sonic, you got it.
Yeah, I don't know Kohl's either. I don't know Kohl's, but Ross, I went in there. I don't know what the hell that is, but I've never bought anything. I don't know what that's all about.
Ross is where they get all anything from the factory that has a thread out of place or something like that goes to Ross. So you're getting like,
no, well, you know,
I got a bunch of Adidas there for like $15 to $25.
I've never found anything in. I mean, I looked in Ross. And just like I know, it looks like a per pound. I don't know what they do if you buy it per pound or whatever. But when I go home, the first thing I say to my brother, let's go to Marshall's, because on the main line, well, it's near Philly, right? And it's like the most luxurious Marshall's you'll ever see. I mean, everything's like top shelf, perfectly neat. Nothing's all in these big bins and stuff. You feel like you're in like Neiman Marcus or something, when you go into the Marshalls there. So there's some really good stuff and like really good stuff in there. So it's all the all the Richies live there. So
okay,
right. Hold on. Hi, Tammy. It's me again. Who are you referring to when you're asking to share the gas station story? Who is that? Is that you, JD?
I don't know.
No, that was the gas station where the guy went to my wife and said,
yeah. I was like, what's happening? Is there a different story? Because that would be awesome.
No, that was the gas station story. She was up there, but yeah, the guy never messed with us again. Anyway, yeah. So Marshall's is like my go-to. First thing I get, like I'm flying to Texas. I'll be in Dallas, 13, 14, 15, and 16, and then I'm going on to Peru. I'm staying with Chris Shevers, and I'm like, Marshall's brother. I hope they got one.
Oh, they have plenty up there in the DFW area. They got plenty.
Yeah.
Quick, before I forget, I've been wanting to ask you this for a while because I follow you on Facebook and everything, and you had the picture with the 7 dots on your upper arm. And I looked up a little bit of it. I guess it's the poison of a tree frog that's injected into your skin or something. Elaborate on that a little bit, just so I can.
Yeah, actually, they just came off today, so you can't even see them anymore. They're just little white dots. You can't even see them. But basically, what it is it's a cleansing that they've used in the Amazon for hundreds of years. And you take the poison of first they take a little stick, they light it on fire, and they burn holes in your skin. Not deep, just to get the top layer of skin off. Then they take the poison from the frog and stick it in these holes. Really nice and neat. And literally within seconds, it starts to burn. And within, a minute, your head feels like it's turning into a balloon. And it just turns, it's so hot and so much pressure. And it almost like goes down your body like this, scans it. And then it forces your body to secrete a bunch of fluid and dump it in your stomach. And at the same time, you're drinking water like nobody's business. So I drank probably a gallon of water on the way there. And while I was there, I drank one of these big bottles like this. And then during the ceremony, I drank it again. And now the ceremony lasts about 20 minutes. And you purge all of this out then, right? So all of the secretion, it takes all the poison and bacteria and sickness and everything out of your body into your stomach, and you purge it out into a bucket or out the other end. And I was doing both at the same time, and it was brutal. I was like, why the fuck did I do this? Oh my God, it was horrible. And I was like, and then it was over. It was like, boom. And it was incredible. I was like Superman. And it switched off like that. I went from feeling like shit, like I was going to die, to Superman within seconds. It was crazy. And since that day, pure clarity, straight. It's a cleanse. They say if you do it 3 times, you'll be immune to just about anything.
Well, it's like Spider-Man, but it's a poisonous tree frog. So we need to get like Frogman shirts made for you or something. That would be awesome.
Well, it's called Combo. It's called Combo, Kambo, and it's actually legal in America, and it's legal here, and it's legal in most places. Kambo. It's something that if you want to, it really helped me. Like I feel
so with it's obviously a cleansing and it's purging everything in your body. But you said that you have more clarity of mind and everything like that. Is that more of a spiritual portion of it, or is it because of the toxins being removed? It actually helps your mind work better.
Yeah, it helps brain fog. It helps your brain fog, helps any stomach issues, or if you have irritable bowel and all that stuff. It literally just flushes it all out. It's they call it spiritual, but you don't have any effects in your head. You're not high or anything like that at all. So it's literally just afterwards, I just felt a clear peace. And man, I felt so calm and so clear, and everything just fell into place. Frogman cap, man.
I know. I'm like,
Everything just fell into
if
place.
only I had a hat guy.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I knew somebody that made hats. That would be so cool.
Combo Master. How's that? Combo Master.
There you go.
We're gonna have to make that happen.
Yeah.
With a matching shirt from Ginger and David.
Yeah,
I
there
did
you go.
combo, and all I got was this stupid hat.
And some scars on my arm. You know, actually, the scars they stay on your arm. You're very faint, but you can see them. And people make designs around their arms and down their legs because they do it a lot. Some people do it a lot. There's another frog poison that I won't do that actually paralyzes you for a couple minutes.
Oh, gee.
And I'm like, nah, I don't need that.
It's like that puffer fish sushi.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
No.
The puffer fish sushi, or it's the fish has a neurotoxin in it that paralyzes you. That's also used to simulate death in certain places. But if the fish is cut
Are you
wrong, it
talking
can
about,
actually
like,
kill you.
Tetrodotoxin or something?
Yeah.
Where it simulates death. No, we're not doing that.
And why do people eat
They
that?
make
Why would
sushi
people
out of
eat
it.
that?
There's very few places that it's actually legal to do anymore because it's so dangerous to do. If it's cut wrong, it'll kill you.
Why would you even try?
Who knows? Because people are dumb.
Jeez.
Lucy says she knows a guy. He sounds hot. Hook me up with him.
Yeah, me too.
Jesus, why do people do that shit? Eating puff fish. God, hey, honey, this could kill you. Bon appetit.
It's like anytime somebody gets a bite of something that's absolutely horrible, they're like, "Hey, this tastes like shit.
Here,
Take a
try
bite."
it. Try it.
Yeah.
My fart really stinks. Let me lock the car windows.
I hate when you do that.
You do that. Oh.
You torture me and the kids with your.
Wait, hey, what did I tell y'all 2 episodes ago? Justifiable homicide. It goes through my brain every time he says things like that. A judge will understand. He'll understand.
Oh,
I got documentation now. You're not
Maybe-
getting off-
now you're recorded forever.
Nah, I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to do it.
Well, man, we're gonna start wrapping it up, man. It's a minute till 9 our time, which makes it a minute till 4 a.m. your time. I definitely cannot say thank you enough for adjusting your sleep schedule to be part of this.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I've always
Yeah,
wanted
my
to have
pleasure.
a nice long conversation with you outside of anything business. So it's
Business.
been really refreshing.
You know, I'm looking at your bar scene here, and you have me across the top here, and this light fits in your bar perfectly, man. You see that?
It really does. It looks-
It actually looks like it belongs. Did you plan that?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty. It actually looks like part of your screen. I actually like that backdrop. That's cool. It's awesome. It's a tin ceiling too, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's my
Yes.
goal eventually.
Yeah, I wish that was my real bar
Yeah,
here at
that's
the house.
not our real bar.
Oh, you're gonna put a tin ceiling in?
I hope
Eventually,
so.
yeah.
Nice,
I
man.
want to do a lot.
Nice.
Well, unfortunately, my bar, which we're sitting in right now, if you were to go about 1.5 feet to the right of Cat, you would be in the Southpaw Laser Concepts manufacturing facility.
That's exactly what it is. I got 1 foot in his business.
The company has completely taken over
Dipping my
what
toes
was the bar, common social area in the house.
It's true.
Well, you
But,
can drink and work at the same time. I guess you shouldn't want. You don't want to do that, probably. But yeah, okay.
I
get it.
never
His
ever
boss
do
is
that.
an asshole. So
I never
can
drink.
imagine. I can't imagine a veteran drinking and work. No.
No, I actually don't. It may seem like I do, but I really don't drink that often. I drink on Tuesdays for this, and then occasionally
when I
on
was-
date nights.
When I was working in Germany, and when I first got there, lunchtime you had beer, like it was normal. They literally, and every morning, because I had a construction contracting job or company, and the guys would come to work with cases of beer. Like each day, one guy would bring a case, and it was like round robin. And at lunch, you sit there and drink beer. It was like drinking. It's the same thing in France. They drink wine.
We're moving to Germany.
It's a running joke in our hospital that someone has a margarita machine in their locker. We just haven't found which locker it is yet. So, medical
A
field,
margarita machine.
we're
What do you
not
do? You're in a
really.
hospital. You're a nurse.
I am a respiratory therapist.
Oh,
So I'm a nurse for the heart and lungs,
so
basically.
you wear a doctor's get up?
I wear scrubs and 2
Wow.
masks thanks to coronavirus. So yeah, at all times.
2 masks. You doing the Fauci thing? 3 masks?
We're required to wear an N95 with a surgical mask over it.
Wow,
So,
that is weird.
don't ask. I don't make the rules.
So
I
it
just
goes
abide by them.
from 95% of the particulates to 95.8%.
It goes
Ish.
to I don't know, but especially since we have to wear the mask multiple days because we're short on supply.
Yeah,
So there you go. So,
that's crazy. Yeah, I was looking at masks for travel because I have to. There's my dog.
hello.
pretty puppy.
Aw. You're famous. Look
Yeah.
at you.
Oh, what a pretty.
So,
Yoy. Wait, calm down. Calm down. Like, oh, he's paying attention to me. Yeah, no. Wow, calm down. Shh. Wow, what the heck's up with you?
well, now we know who the alpha is. So.
Oh man, yeah, not humble. Yeah.
Well, but we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna let you deal with your dog and get back to sleep. I know you've I couldn't even imagine taking a nap and waking up that early. Fuck that. You're a way better man than I am. And
Wow, man, it's worth it. It's
definitely
been worth it. I always wanted to just have a conversation with you guys. I get to meet your wife. That's cool. Now the family's expanded, so we're good. Gladly.
Well, I'm glad to finally talk to you. JD talks about you not incessantly, like he doesn't want like to smell your crotch or anything. Nothing weird like that. But like
just your collar.
but like he definitely wants to shake your hand and have some beers with you eventually, which is
How far are you from Dallas?
It's
pretty
about an
far.
8-hour drive.
pretty fun.
Oh, Jesus,
It's
man.
no,
Texas.
from here it's probably 9 hours from here.
Yeah, probably.
No.
Yeah.
Texas is gigantic.
Yeah.
And that's funny when you think about that. 8 hours. I'm in I could be in 10 countries.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, 8 hours. I could be anywhere basically in Europe in 8 hours.
You know how terrifying of a thought that is? I could be anywhere in 8 hours.
Just make sure that Chris takes you to a Buc-ee's while you're in Texas.
Yes, go to Buc-ee's. It's like the super mall of gas
Buc-ee's.
stations.
Just ask Chris. He'll know. Buc-ee's.
I'll
is
forget it. But yeah,
and
Chris,
it's-
if you're watching, remind us to go to Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. Everybody,
and
comment
get beaver
about
nuggets. Beaver nuggets from
Beaver
Buc-ee's.
nuggets.
Yes.
What the hell are beaver nuggets?
Oh, they're
Nuggets are
very
caramel
tasty.
crusted
Oh, yeah.
heaven. I don't know. There's caramel on it. If you like caramel, you'll love them. My
I thought
sister.
it was like chopped up beaver made into chicken nuggets.
If it is, I like beaver. Like, I mean, it's just really good.
I love me some beaver.
Yeah, because that wasn't inappropriate.
You guys,
This is actually probably the most appropriate show we've done thus far.
Me and beaver, we got this.
They really do.
you're lighting up some men right now, but I tell you, oh
Yeah.
man, that's hilarious.
Before I married JD, could have gone either way. Beaver
Yeah.
or hot dogs.
But, yeah. Oh my God, we're never gonna wrap this up. It's too fucking fun.
It's just now getting good. What are you talking about?
The best test at the end, people. Buc-ee's. Yes, Lucy.
I don't know if everybody else is cool with it. Steven, you can just call. You say when we finish. It's your sleep schedule.
We're
No,
good, man. No, I like the flow we're getting into now. That's always good. Start having a good conversation like that. I don't get a chance to do this often. I mean, I'm always talking about business, and I'm in this little village, so I don't talk to many people here except my wife, and she can't hear it anymore. So and I get on podcasts. It's always the same thing. Where are you from? What have you done? What's the book? And it's good to just have a conversation, just to chat, have a good time.
oh, you wrote books? I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Well, shit. Do you want to stay longer? It's completely up to you. I'll run it as long as you want.
Chat a little more. We got to get to another minute, a couple minutes, 15 minutes or whatever. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Since you brought up other interviews, especially about business stuff, what is the dumbest question you've gotten from a business interview?
Good one.
They always want to talk about the war, right? Because that gives credibility. I have a war guy on my podcast, and I said, look, there was a young guy. I said, whatever you do, don't ask if I killed anybody or anything stupid like that. First question. Before we get started, you were in war. Have you ever killed anybody? I was like, and it was live. I was like, I ask you not to ask that question. So you can either rephrase it, or I can get up and this interview's over. Like, I just dumped it. He was like, thought he could call me out on live TV or whatever it was live, and I would,
Try to
fall
pick
for
your
it.
mood.
Oh my.
Yeah,
God.
I think the worst thing is in interviews is when they don't listen to you. They ask you a question, your answer, and they're looking at the next question, not even engaging you, and they go, "Oh, that was great. Okay, here's my new question," and there's no flow, right? I was talking about that today with this guy because I interviewed this earlier this morning. It was awesome. It just went and went and went. You know how it is. Like, so what's your favorite color? Okay, thank you. And what's your favorite car? You know, it's like, where's the discussion? Where's the discussion? Right. So that's the key part.
You know what you should have told him? You should have said, "Not yet," and then just point it to the camera and then let it fade away.
Yeah.
And then the whole audience would have
You
been
better
like,
call your mom.
the whole audience would have been like,
Yeah.
I've been wanting to use that stupid clap track all night.
Button all night.
Yeah, that wah, wah, wah. You have that one too, right?
Lucy wants to know now. Lucy wants to know, what is your favorite car?
Oh, my favorite car, it's got to be like a 68 Chevy Chevelle. I had one when I was in high school. That's my first favorite car. The second car I had when I was in Germany as a soldier, as a private, I had a Porsche 914. And well, it was back when I think the dollar got like 3 or 4 D-Mark, Deutschmark, which was a currency. So for every dollar you got 3 Deutschmark, and this thing cost me like $2,000 to buy this car. So it was only 11 years old at the time. So it was a Porsche 911 or 914, which is basically the VW Porsche is what they call it. So it has the mid-engine. It was a little small red Target top, 2-seater. It was amazing. I love that car.
So you were loaded in Deutschmarks?
Yeah, that's right. Loaded. We'd go out. It was like you couldn't spend the money. And then we went to Spain on vacation, and there was a peseta was there. This is before the euro. And I remember we were on vacation. I had to like hide money behind frames under carpets and stuff. I had so much money because I didn't know, well, let me do $500. And it was like enough to live in Spain in a 4-star hotel for God knows how long. And I was with the other soldiers, and it was just, I was buying gifts for random people because I just had so much like this paper money. It was crazy.
So with the various European monies and everywhere that you've been in Europe, and I'm sure that over time you've become more accustomed to all the different values of monies and traditions and customs everywhere. With you being an American accent, everything like that, has there been occasions where people have tried to rip you off or take advantage of you because you are American, even though you know exactly what something's worth and you know what the value is?
Oh yeah, I was in Turkey a long time ago, and I ordered a fresh pressed orange juice. It was like this little glass, like a little cocktail, a long drink glass, and 65 Mustang, nice. And I was sitting with my Turkish friend and her brother, and this guy said, "Okay, in Turkish that'll be like $12 or whatever it was." I was like, "What are you, nuts?" And my friend said to him in Turkish, "Hey, come on, we're Turkish." And she's like. And the guy said, "Don't worry about it. The foreigner will pay for it anyway. They don't know what the cost is, like that." And then she told me, and I was like, "What are you, stupid? I'm not paying this." And he's like, "You have to pay." And her brother like got up and basically made him understand that I wasn't going to pay in a physical way. He literally chased him. I think he chased him like a mile through the market trying to catch him. Yeah, I was like, I'm just beat the shit out of him. My ex had a 67. I got pissed one night and was leaving back. There was,
That's
I didn't come home for a couple of days.
Hello, Jennifer. Hello again. She said,
Jennifer,
"My ex
had
a
67. Yeah, that 67 was the last year that they had that style. That was 67 was the last year they had that style. They came up with a new style in 68. Yeah. Oh man, I can imagine. Yeah, my car was my everything in high school. But that Porsche, it was a nice little wannabe sports car. But I'm probably gonna buy one if I ever get around to it, and they run like, I think if you want one that's fully restored, it's like 20-30K right now. So for a collector's car, you drive, twice a year. I'm not sure if I want to ever do that, but we'll see. Depends on what's happening.
69 GTO Judge Racing Orange. Oh my God. I would do some really, really shady shit for that car.
He really would.
That or the 70 Charger from Vanishing Point with Steve McQueen.
Oh yeah.
Charger. Oh my God, that thing was a sexy car.
Doesn't that thing have a name? Like it doesn't have like a
goat or something?
No, the GTO is the GOAT.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the Charger from Vanishing Point.
Yeah, but that doesn't have a name. They called it something.
I don't remember.
Or am I thinking of Nicolas Cage?
Oh yeah, that was when it was it Eleanor, I think, or something like that.
Eleanor, that was it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That was the '69 Fastback Mustang.
Mine's
But-
what a 1949.
Oh, you want a 40?
Nine-
She
I
wants a
want
47 Super Deluxe. The old really
48
round heavy coupe.
Fleetwood Master. My dad has a 36 right now. He has a 36 Chevy. I don't know. It's bright orange, beautiful car. He loves those old timers. We had 48 Chevy Fleetwood Master.
Oh my
It was called. It was a business coupe, so it had the big pearl steering wheel and had the shifter that you could do with your elbow, out the window on the side, and it had this
the giant half globe hubcaps on it. And,
yeah, it had the little hubcaps in the middle of the big wheel, right? So it had that little.
but it was like full on, like you couldn't see any spokes or anything. It was just
Dome.
dome in there, just beautiful chrome.
Yeah.
I fancy myself born in the wrong era. I should have been a 50s, 40s, really 40s girl. So love it.
Do you do do you do the Bobby style, with the poodle dress?
I used to when I was bigger, when I was curvier girl, I used to like pull that off, but I haven't done that in a real long time because I think people realize that I should not have been born in the 40s because I have a mouth on me. So,
Oh yeah, she is not the stay-at-home vacuum.
I don't know any woman who doesn't wear like the hair thing and the poodle dress and that that 50s look.
yeah.
It doesn't have a mouth on her. I mean,
Yeah, the whole greaser thing, it kind of goes.
Company because I'm definitely a mouthy gal.
I blame it on Crybaby, that Johnny Depp flick. It set up a whole generation to be mouthy bitches.
Now I feel really unique.
Yeah, well, there you go. Greaser. That's right. That's what you call them. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about it. Man, I'm talking to you guys. I'm realizing I'm forgetting my jargon. I've been over here so long. Man, forgetting about all these things. The word greaser. Jesus. That reminds me of that movie Stripes.
Someone said they call it a judge.
Yeah, that was the GTO judge. That was the
yeah.
Judge.
That was like the most upgraded version of the GTO you can get. And GTO stands for gas, tires, and oil because that's what you're replacing every other day.
That was Brian. Hi, Brian. If you go to StreamYard and give us permission, we can have your name up here too.
You are. There you go. Yeah.
Because your Facebook user. She says, "Oh, well." She says, "You don't have a mouth, Kat. You have a distinct attitude." Hey,
it's a persona. Persona is the preferred nomenclature.
Sometimes JD wants to strangle me for my distinct attitude.
I'm not strangling you per se. I don't have any good euphemisms for it.
Physical influence.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Physical influence.
Ginger and David say all good women have a great vocabulary.
Right.
Unless that vocabulary involves the word fuck, then
fuck isn't good. Shouldn't use fuck.
Fuck is a comma. It's punctuation.
If I had a nickel for every time we've already used it in this show,
I
wouldn't need sponsors.
Yeah, try to explain that to Europeans because they think when you say fuck, you're swearing at them.
Oh,
it's like an exclamation point.
Well, conversely, in Britain, Ireland, Scotland, cunt is just like dude. But over here in the States, cunt is like the nastiest of nasty words. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other as far as curse words go from here.
It sounds different in English too. I mean, if they speak, Irish, fucking Irish, you fucking cunt. They talk like that. It's just like that sounds cool. What are you saying? So yeah, you say it in American English to an American. It's like, what did you just say to me? Like, you're dead. That kind of so.
Yeah, I got really, 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 really hammered on one of my birthdays, and this was probably the worst birthday celebration I ever had.
We're bringing this up again.
We got in a fight, and I used the C word, and that was like the immediate
yeah.
Uh-oh.
And the needle across the record, like
it's like things are not going to go well from this point forward, regardless what is said. That was
This is years later, and I still make that face when he brings up this story. Thanks, hon. I almost forgave you for it already.
Oh, you never forgave me for it.
I didn't.
Men are gluttons for punishment. We like calling up our mistakes. We keep it real that way. See,
that's what I'm doing, babe. I'm keeping it real.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, that's
keeping it real. Is that what the kids are saying now these days, Joseph?
Stop using my kids.
Cool kids.
God,
cool kids, man. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. My wife remembers shit from like I don't even remember. I mean, when something happens, it happens, and I dump it. You know what I mean? Like dump. Just anything negative, I just dump it out of my brain. And like my wife will just drop this random sort of comment that attaches to a whole. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, look at this. Jennifer says, "I love the C word."
Dang, Jennifer. Dang.
Virtual
I don't know.
high
See,
Hey, Jennifer, me again.
Well, my problem is I have a traumatic brain injury, and I don't remember a lot of things. And so she tries to bring it up.
Shit again.
Well, you remember when this? I'm like, no, I really don't remember when that happened.
That's like you're so full of shit. You only have traumatic brain injury when it's something bad, right?
It's so convenient that he
not
forgets
my
the
fault that
fucking-
there's so many
That's why
coincidences.
I'm here to remember all the stupid shit Joseph Dean does. Because his traumatic brain injury won't let him remember all the stupid shit he did.
Yeah, I can't pull the PTSD card at home either, so that doesn't work for me either.
I'm like, you mother Hubbard. He's just but he somehow remembers all the good things he does for me. He doesn't remember all the bad things he's done.
Well, I like to focus on the
we
positive.
learned that in the army. We learned that in the army. You only remember the good things.
I think it's selective traumatic brain injury. I think that's what it is.
Although when I went to my 20-year high school
I've heard
reunion,
of that.
I totally used it for my advantage because there was
Have
people
you?
coming up to me like, "Oh
Have
my
you?
God, JD, how have you been?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I was in a really bad accident and I had brain injury. I lost a lot of memories. I don't, I'm very sorry." And they'll start saying stories. I'm like, "Oh,
You're just an asshole.
yeah."
It's not your traumatic brain injury. You're just an asshole.
You were doing it. You were fucking with him, or you were serious?
No, he seriously
No,
didn't
I
remember him.
seriously,
you
didn't.
seriously
I had
okay.
no
He
clue
had
who
no
they
idea.
were.
No idea.
Well, I don't have that issue, but I still couldn't remember who they were when I went to my 20-year.
No, I'm pretty sure it was because I'm an asshole that I didn't remember them, but
I
I
had, like-
totally used the excuse of the brain injury.
I had 70 freaking people in my graduating class. Like, if you don't remember someone, you did it on purpose. Like, it's an insult in my hometown.
So there was
Dude,
like
I was a loser in high school. I didn't have any friends. I didn't remember who these people were. You know, I never hung out with these people or one random. I had 3 friends in high school, and one of them was my brother. You know, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know who these people were. A lot of them.
I mean, I didn't have a lot of close friends, but like I said, I grew up in a tiny ass town. You know, people's tan line by the next morning if they slept with somebody. I mean, it was just that kind of town, which is why I didn't date very often in my hometown.
you dated Pettis, you dated
I dated every
Skidmore.
small town near it though.
every 1 or 2A school within 45 minutes. It was
Holy
that-
shit!
It's just that you're making me sound way worse than I actually was.
No, but it's that was the typical
go
thing.
on.
No, that was the typical thing is you never dated in your own high school for all those 1A schools that were around those 2A schools because there was only 8 eligible people,
and most of them were related to each other. I wasn't. I didn't.
So you had to date
I wasn't.
outside.
That's true.
30, 45
That's true. A
minutes
lot of them
away
were related
just-
to each other. So
Jesus. Yeah, I went to high school in central Pennsylvania. We call it Pennsyltucky, and it's sort of the same. There was a place there called Bald Hills, and it was like that. It was all like Deliverance. Remember that movie?
Is it like Amish country, Pennsylvania, or Mennonite area?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania is Amish. I mean, literally, there's like the names of the towns are like Bird in Hand Hotel, Brass Balls Avenue, Intercourse, PA. Intercourse, PA is actually a city.
Oh my God, we got to go there.
Yeah. It's all a shoe fly pie and Amish farms and stuff. Seriously,
I will go to Intercourse, PA, if you promise that we will have intercourse in Intercourse, PA. Otherwise, I'm out.
Seal it.
You mean it?
Well, when I was in boot camp, right? They would have mail call, right? And the drill sergeant would always make fun. Okay. Private Kuhn, there's a letter from Sally, whoever, and I would never get letters from girls because I didn't have any girls when I was in high school. And so I started sending letters to myself from the post office, right? And I would write from Intercourse, PA, Yolanda Williams, and put hearts and kisses on the back. And this guy he would be out there all the time reading, "Oh, Kuhn's got another one from Intercourse, PA from Yolanda." It was like, just
Well, this one said make you squeal like a pig. Holy.
It's
That was,
talking about Deliverance.
Spencer
Talking
and
about
David.
Deliverance. Have you ever seen the movie Deliverance? Burt
Oh, yeah.
Reynolds? Yeah, that's what he's talking
No,
about.
and I'm not going to. JD's sister said I dated a boy from Bishop, Texas. So hey,
And her
she
maiden
made
name
her,
is Bishop.
She made her way around those 1A schools too. Looking at you, sister. I appreciate that.
Hey, Kathy, sister of mine, blood relative. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give it permission to use your name so I know it's you commenting. So I don't have to look at my phone right
Yeah,
here. I
yeah,
hate looking at my phone if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Man.
And yes, Lucy, he is my asshole. And
Yeah, sure. That's right, man. That's right. Own it. Own it. You got to own it. Take ownership of that.
That's one thing I've definitely appreciated about you from the first time that I ever had any kind of interaction with you is you do always put your wife out there as far as she's your queen, she's your front, she's your support, she's everything.
Yeah.
And that's actually I've taken that.
I appreciate it.
And I'm sure she appreciates it because I've actually tried. Actually, I put it into action as far as
See it right here.
bringing I can't even explain it in words. Just
Well, you bring it. I mean, you guys are doing a show together.
with her.
My wife, but my wife she gets pissed when I post just a picture of her on social media. She doesn't like social media at all. Doesn't do any of that stuff. Doesn't like it at all. She's only on for her business, and that's it. But I would love to have her on the show. She'd bust me out the whole time for sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hey, Chris Griffith
I'm
is
gonna
here.
bust JD's
Oh,
balls
my God.
every show.
Chris Griffith just showed up.
What's up, Chris?
Welcome to the show. It says I have learned that Kat is cooler than JD. Hi, Chris. Welcome to the show.
Chris
Yeah.
is a great
Chris should be a
dude.
politician.
Up
Chris
in
should be a
North-
politician. Man.
You have got to meet up with Chris when you're up there with the other Chris.
Chris, are you? If you're in Dallas,
Chris is
man, we're
not
having
far
a
from DFW. He's in
Oh.
Pottsboro, so he's
awesome.
not far from there at all. Hey, Kathy, you fixed it. I can see you now.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Yeah, Chris, we're hooking up with Chris Sievers and a couple other people. The DP might be flying down to Dallas as well. That is, if I test negative for COVID when I leave here, who knows? You never know.
Oh, gosh, nah, you'll be good. So, Chris put Kat is funny, y'all. Like, really funny. Okay, look, Chris, I appreciate it, but JD thinks anytime someone says I'm funny, they're just saying I'm hot. So, will you tell him that I'm actually funny? Because my mom thinks I'm funny, so I have to be funny.
Well,
Hold
you
on.
have to choose between. Did you say they're actually saying you're hot?
That's what JD keeps saying.
I did not say that about you.
Yes.
I said that about a lot of dudes will say that chicks are funny because they are hot.
Maybe I'm just funny.
Not you directly.
Maybe I'm just funny.
Could it be? You could be both.
Yeah, she is
Here.
she's
Yeah.
funny and hot.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I think so.
How the fuck
Thank
do you think
you.
I married her? Jesus. I got high fucking standards.
No, you don't. Thank you, but no.
No, you don't.
I've seen some of the women you dated before me. I'm pretty sure one was a one-legged stripper. You did not have high standards.
Hey, hey, you leave Eileen alone.
That's it. I'm out. Eileen, you see word, you can have him.
Good Lord.
And that is what we call full circle, folks.
There we go. There we go, man.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
No, Chris, anytime he gives you a hard time, he's going to say, yeah, she's funny. No, JD doesn't believe I'm funny. He believes that people think I'm just good looking. That's it. He doesn't think I'm funny. He doesn't laugh at my jokes.
Well, you're very easy going on camera. That's pretty cool. And you I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job. I mean, you're actually a little bit more loose or easygoing than JD is.
No, I'm always just this way. I'm
not taking
broken.
this seriously at all.
No, you're like,
I'm not getting paid for this. I am here to bust JD's balls and to tell everybody his middle name is Dean. Joseph Dean.
Go
Dean?
fuck
You say Dean?
yourself.
I'm not taking any of this seriously. This is not my business. JD, he's gotten sponsors. Thank you, Gunner Gray. Thank you, Soldier Girl Coffee. Thank you, Warhorse. But I don't see a dime of that. So
You do. That's where my paycheck comes from.
and I don't get a paycheck. I do some business for JD, and I don't not business like, and I'm a hooker. I meant like I help him with Southpaw business.
She,
I help him
Don't
with
give me
I-
ideas.
she's in the oldest profession.
respiratory therapy.
There's actually a tour in Hamburg, Germany, where prostitution started. Like
Really?
the very tour where the first prostitutes lived in the world, in Hamburg, Germany.
Really? Germany had the first hookers?
Yep,
Ever?
prostitutes in Germany, ever.
I would have thought it would have been like in
Still legal. It's still legal in Germany
or
too.
something like that.
Prostitution is legal. Like you can go and get a
Oh yeah.
prostitute.
When I was coming back from Kosovo, they pulled us all aside as we landed, and flying back, we flew back from Kosovo to Germany in the back of C-130, and it was a really shitty flight. The back hatch wouldn't close all the way, so it was half speed, half altitude the whole time, just loud as hell, cold as hell, windy as hell. We land there, and they're like, "All right, folks, we need 4 volunteers to stay back in Germany because the flights back are all space available." And you're going to have to stay here for 2 weeks. It's $101 a day per diem. You get to stay in officers' quarters, and it's non-chargeable leave. I'm like,
Yeah.
I couldn't raise my hand fast enough or high enough, and I got to stay there. And so the enlisted quarters were all taken.
I'm
and
waiting for it.
Yeah, me too.
There was the 4 of us that stayed, and we're all staying 2 different officers' quarters, but they were kind of like 2-bedroom apartments. And we would all split a cab into town every night, and we'd all just go our various directions, whatever. And we'd all meet up a certain time and come back. And well, this one guy, I'm waiting for him to come back, and he was at the whorehouses all night long, and I'm waiting for him, and I'm waiting for him, I'm waiting for him. He doesn't show up. I take a cab ride back. I'm like, fuck it, it's time for me to go to bed. And I put the key in the door, and I open it, and it opens up about 6 inches and goes thump. I'm like, what the fuck? And I put all my body weight against it, and I push it open. And he's laying down, face down, ass up. He has his polo shirt on, and that is the only piece of clothing that is on his body. Period, plain and simple. His wallet is next to him. His ID is there, and that is the only contents of his wallet. So I guess he pissed off some hookers or some pimps or whatever.
I love how you tell the story like it was another guy who went through that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, okay, yeah.
I cannot get the image of that dude's hairy fucking ass out of my brain.
Too slow, JD. A little bit too slow. Like you were making it up as you went, as far as like the other guy was laying on the ground.
Okay.
That's like, I'm asking for a friend. If he has a rash on his testicles, my friend, not me.
Good God. Well,
right.
you know, what city was that? What city was that?
Frankfurt.
Oh, it was in Frankfurt. Jesus, because they have a whole red light district down there across from the train station.
Yeah, because I would go there.
Oh,
There was the strip clubs where you can pay. It was 20 marks at the time, which I think was like $10 American or something like that. And you drink off of that entire your cover charge. You just drink off that. You don't pay for your beer once you're inside. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go fucking drink.
Yeah, I remember the first.
Oh, their alcohol's so high.
The first day I was in Germany, it was a Friday, and some of these guys were like, hey, let's go down to Frankfurt. So we took a train. I was outside of Frankfurt, about 45-minute train ride, and that was my first time. And we took a train downtown, and only thing I knew was in German was "Wo sind die Frauen?" Like, where are the women? Right?
Oh, so, good for you, man.
Asking all these people, like, excuse me, where are the women? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, women, Frauen. They're like, what are you talking about? I didn't know it was called red light district. And so anyway, we got there. We went into a strip club, and we're sitting at the bar, and the stage is literally right in front of you, like you do, you know, you see on TV.
Yeah.
And my first time ever, and I had my army jacket on, like army, U.S. Army.
First time there, or your first time ever?
Yeah. I was 19 years old, man. I didn't know shit, you know.
Asking for a friend.
So I'm sitting there, and this girl comes and sits in my lap and asks me to buy her a drink. So you know, as they do, whatever. And she was topless, and I was like 19 years old, going like a little crazy. And one of the other girls came up, and they were like teasing her and stuff, and they whipped her. She had a towel around her waist, whipped her towel off, and she had this thing hanging there, man.
No,
I ran out of there. It like hit me on the leg as I was running by. You know, it was like I ran out of that, left my jacket in the bar. I didn't give a shit. I was 19. I was scarred for life, man.
Oh my God. So when you said first time, you went first time with a man.
No, Stop it. No.
We've all
No,
been there.
my
We've
first
all been
experience
there.
with a strip club. That was my first experience with a strip club in Germany. I was like, I'm not doing that shit anymore. So what we would do is because everything closed at 2 a.m., but the trains didn't run until 5 a.m. So you had this time in between. And so we'd go to the Bahnhof or the train station, and across the street were literally high-rise buildings, like 6 stories. Every single floor, every single apartment was prostitutes. And the higher you went, the bigger and uglier they got, right? So it was like, yeah, they're the expensive ones are at the bottom, and the cheap ones are at the top. The cheap ones are at the top. And at the top, they're like grabbing you, saying, "Come on in," trying to make money. And because it's just so saturated there. They had this one called the Crystal Palace or something, it was like marble, and it was, and we would just walk through there to spend time. I never did anything because I was too much of a pussy. But I was just walking around, looking at all the women and just killing time. It's surreal when I think about it now,
Was the Crystal Palace the name of the bar or the name of the guy's member? I'm going to rename your dick.
Boom.
Crystal Palace. If it gets any wider, I will.
Well, you ask anybody who's stationed in Germany in the 80s and 90s, ask them about the red light district. They all know. Oh, and there was a club there. They called Unpopular music. They play the German music like ner, 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 ner. And around it you had all the tables. You had a balcony, and every table had a light with a number on it. And every table had a telephone. You could just pick up the phone and dial the number of the table of the girls or the people. Hey, I'm table number 32. Look over. Hey, can we come over? That kind of. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was like you could call each other's tables. It was the place was huge, like a warehouse. It's cool. Yeah.
So what I found really crazy about Frankfurt was the international airport. There is not just an airport. There's like 3 or 4 different basement levels, and one of them is a legit full-on shopping mall. I'm talking dozens upon dozens upon dozens of stores, food court, the whole thing. Like,
there's a world famous nightclub there called the Dorian Gray. It's closed now, but that was like the best nightclub in all of Germany. Was at the airport.
Yeah, we went clubbing in the airport a couple of times. I was not a clubbing guy, but of course went there with the rest of the dudes. And
it's really funny how he says that, but a lot of his stories from the military were, we're at this club. Really?
No, a lot of them were at this bar, or we were fucking.
Usually there's the word stripper in front of club, but usually it's, hey, we're at this club once.
Okay. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, see, I told you.
What really, truly, truly amazed me, and this is one of the reasons I want to go back to Germany. Of all the places I've ever been, Germany is one of the places I want to go back to. Is just how absolutely clean that country is. Yeah. Even the ghettos that you drove through, the streets were oh yeah, like it is just so clean. There's no trash, there's no litter, there's no cigarette butts, there's no gum, there's no. Yeah, even in the
before the 2017 influx of I guess 2 million wherever they came from, all over Syria and Africa or wherever. Before that, when you're on social welfare, they made you work for €1 an hour cleaning the streets and picking up the garbage and stuff like that. If you were on social welfare and you didn't have a job, if you were on social welfare for too long and you didn't have a job, you had to work for €1 an hour to support what it is that they were doing, whatever they were giving you. I think it's $400 a month or something, €400 a month. You work for €1 an hour, clean the streets, take the trash, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty clean over there.
Okay, so I've got to read this out loud because it's freaking hilarious. It's a 2-parter from Kathy. I can't even talk now. I accidentally walked down the red light district and pot district in Amsterdam with my 16-year-old. I just wanted to walk back to my hotel downtown from the river. And the second one is, imagine trying to explain to your daughter while the area smells like grandma's house.
Well, Amsterdam, I actually did my MBA in Utrecht, part of my MBA in Utrecht. So we go to Amsterdam all the time. And Amsterdam, basically the whole canal is red light. The back streets and everything. It's almost hard to miss. They don't even block it off. And they're just sitting there in windows, like you walk up and look at them like you're looking at you're going shopping. It's really weird. In Hamburg, they have Herbert Street, and they have at the end of the street on each side, they have like these like these walls you got to walk through like this. So only men are allowed to go in there. And that was because back in the day when prostitution started, it was honorable. It was an honorable profession. So they would never, so no women could go in there and shame the other women. So they protected the women prostitutes from other women, and no one knew who they were. Only the men knew. And of course, they're not going to tell anybody. You know, they're not going to tell their wives who the women were. So yeah, it's they block it off. But when you walk in there, you walk out the other side. If you're still fresh and you haven't done anything, there's like 30 prostitutes standing there waiting for you, man.
So
Like,
you can just be like, I went shopping in Germany. Shopping for ladies.
Like, oh, that bitch is a whore. Well, how do you know?
Well, it's sort of her address, you know. Yeah, so,
Asking for a friend.
but you got to remember, in Europe, sex isn't taboo. It's part of life. I mean, they have ads on TV of naked people in Germany. You know, they have. I remember my cousin came to visit, and there was billboards with naked breasts, and he was like posing under the breasts because it was such a big deal. Germans are actually a little bit too sex infatuated. Every news show, everything ends with something sex, and they always say it at the beginning so you could stay to the end. And they had strip live game shows where every time the contestant lost, they would take a piece of clothing off. This was on normal everyday TV. So sex is accepted over here. I mean, it's not like, oh, it's taboo. No,
when I was there, and this was late 90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of the openly public sexual whatever is stuff that's still barely starting to come out of the taboo over here today. As far as like the BDSM was very open over there. All the different taboos that are starting to become.
Thank you, 50 Shades of Grey, for bringing it to America.
Yeah,
I have to ask what BDSM is.
It's the bondage.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
And
Sadomaso. They call it sadomaso in Germany. Yeah.
So that stuff was just out in the open there, and there's like kind of like in Vegas where they have the people handing out the cards for the hookers.
Steven,
they had that stuff
when he explained what BDSM was, did you think, oh yeah, regular sex? Got it.
Yeah. No, I was thinking lack in leather, they say. There's actually a club in Berlin called the Kit Kat Club. It's been there since the 60s, and they keep changing locations. And the Kit Kat Club is literally, you have to walk in. You only get in if you're dressed, either you're completely naked or you're dressed like really weird. So you'd have to go in as a man wearing like leather shorts with your ass cheeks cut out and a topless shirt, like topless or whatever, just something weird like that.
So
I got in a few times
behind this desk.
Yeah.
You're not wearing pants.
And women would come in. Just have anyway. So you have like 300, 400, 500 people in there, and it's a club with a stage, and everybody's half naked or naked, and everybody's doing something with somebody. Men with men, women with women, women with men, threesomes, foursomes, 12somes, or whatever. And it's just a club. People are drinking. Hey, how's it going? And they're walking around with their shit hanging out. The weirdest place I've ever been, but it's very popular still to this day. I don't know if it's open, but it was when I was there last time. So, and it's been there forever.
Was that a really risque movie back in the 70s or 80s? Was it Caligula?
Caligula. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And it's just like I said,
old ass people shows is this?
Hey, go fuck yourself. You're gonna get old one day. You'll be like us.
No, thanks.
You'll be like us.
It doesn't matter how old I get. I'm never going to be as old as you fuckers. So I'm good.
Damn. Well, I
don't like
if we go back, I mean, I think it's key factor that in the States, I think in Texas, there's a law, oral sex is forbidden, right? I think it's a law. And
I think it's still in the books that any kind of sodomy, which includes oral sex, is still illegal in the state.
Yeah,
it's not something that's enforced, but it was
it's not enforced because which politician is going to say, "Excuse me, I'm the senator for Texas. I would like to get rid of that law about outlawing oral sex." Just saying, I mean, like, how would that go?
Very anti blowjob.
I mean, what lawyer or what senator or politician is going to do that? Because then all of the
there's a couple of senators in Houston that I could definitely pin that one on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say any names. They know who they are.
Well, that's the thing about it is that everybody gets all outraged at this shit. And they're the people that are, I don't even want to say what they're doing, but you know what I'm saying? Like all these people that are like, oh, how could you sex is bad and all you guys and oh look at me. It's like, oh come on, get over
It's
it.
the do as I say, not as I do syndrome.
Yeah. And I'm not just talking about politicians. I'm talking about Karens or Kens or whoever they are.
Karens and Kyles, collectively known as the HOA.
There's that. So good. You made it a whole hour and 30 minutes before bringing up our HOA. Cool.
Wow. Amazing. Well, it was a pleasure, man. What a different kind of conversation that was.
We went from one end to the other, didn't we?
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. We ended with sex, right?
Hey, that's how the night's supposed to end.
That's how it is supposed to end. Hey, let's start our nights with sex from now on. People, I'm going to run for politics and we're going to start and end everything with sex. You're welcome, America.
Just make sure for guys there's a little bit of time in between the start and the finish for recovery.
Give me 5 to 7 minutes, please.
That's all it takes you.
Chug a book. That's fine. It's the best 5-7 minutes of your fucking life.
Stumped. Did you see him? He was stumped.
My brain went into vapor lock trying to figure out the best response to that.
He couldn't think of a comeback. Come.
Cramp in my cheek.
Oh my god!
Cramp in my cheek from laughing. Oh, Jesus.
Well, Steven, it was honestly a blast finally getting to talk to you. Like I said, JD talks about you all the time, and he really takes a lot of your advice very to heart because he knows that you really want him to succeed. So I think
for sure.
And how can you go wrong with the HIT method? Honesty, integrity, and transparency.
It's true.
Yep.
That's very true.
Every aspect of your life, if you apply
business, marriage, the whole thing.
Exactly. Live it, embrace it, embody it. Yep, for sure. And it also keeps you who you are. And no one does you like you. So in many ways.
Yeah, definitely. I know I said it before when we were going to end 41 minutes ago, but man, I can't say thank you enough for being here and doing the show with us. It was a completely unexpected outcome in turning events. Yes. It was so
there goes, because I tore up at one last time. There goes all my questions because that was amazing. There was no need for
we always before any interview, we always fill out a couple of cue cards with questions in case there becomes a lull in the conversation.
We call them lulls. Is what we call them.
So we have if we need the fillers, we have them already there.
Yeah.
And really didn't have to use them. The only cards I used was the ones that we're doing for everything, which is the unpopular opinion and the would you rather, which we do with everybody.
Yeah.
So man, not having to use any cards is awesome. That means I don't have to think about anything for the next guy. I've already got it written down.
And that's the deal, right? That's the deal. Oh, there you go. Yeah, man. Who is the next one? Who's the next
one?
JR Alanese, Third Day Coffee.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be the next week. I've got Ryan Hunt lined up for April, and then I'm working on filling a few other slots. I've got a bunch of soft maybes and people that they're hard yeses initially, but just need them to commit.
I'll take a hard yes over a soft maybe any day.
It's like trying to play pool with a soft spaghetti noodle.
Or exactly. Yeah.
Jesus.
We can go on forever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've been holding back. Don't want to get too dirty here.
Oh, why not?
Well, some of the
people you never know where it's going to land. No, it's
he's got a business to worry about.
It was fun with you guys. It was fun. Nice meeting you, Kat.
We really do appreciate you coming on. And it was nice meeting you, Steven.
Thank you. Before we get out there, I do have to say thank you again. We do have to say thank you to Warhorse Legacy for making this possible. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to have this cool setup with all this shit around us, making us look pretty, making us sound pretty. So definitely
our
thank
phallus shaped microphones.
It's a gigantic penis.
They keep us stocked with phallus shaped microphones.
But I will see you in 2 days at the Warrior Council call for sure. And we're going to bring a lot of this shit up just to relive it. It's like a bad nightmare.
Let's do it.
But thank you again. Thank you everybody for
Thank you,
tuning
everyone.
in. We will see y'all next Tuesday, if not sooner, but definitely next
p.m.
Tuesday,
Tune
8 p.m. Central, unless you're on Steven's time and it's 3 a.m. in Hungary.
We'll see you then, Steven. 3
Yeah.
p.m.
Be there.
We'll see you live. Thanks again. Y'all have a great night, everybody.
All right. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.